Hey, Herald-Times sports editor Chris Korman here, joined by Hugh Kellenberger. No one has thrown a pizza at us yet.
No one has thrown a pizza or a cupcake or a Coke.
Matt Brady was
shocked.
going to throw a pizza at us.
Yes.
Of IU Media Relations. He was going to wing a slice at us, but he has not. Bucket game. 38-21, Purdue.
70th time Purdue's won.
Bucket is headed north.
Again.
What did you learn today?
Actually, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably indicative. This is the 12th game of the season. And it's a 4-8 season.
Yeah. A senior class, 21 seniors today, played their final game for Indiana. Really interesting class just as far as timing. The fifth-year guys would have signed with Hepner about 2 months after he got here.
Right.
He was hired in December of, after DiNardo's reign, and came into the program. Indiana didn't have 85 scholarship players. It was down, I don't know the official number, but really with the beginning of the rebuilding process. And then the 4-year guys, there were 6 of them. Ray Fisher didn't play today, but Mayberry, Patterson, Saffold, Saxon, those guys all played immediately. They came in as Hepner, part of Hepner's first class, and were on the field most of their careers. And the talk all this week was what an impact those guys had on the program, and mostly the intangible part, learning how to work and all those things.
I thought it was really interesting what Roger Saffold said after the game. He was surrounded by media. I think him and Mitchell were the only 2 guys out, and so everyone was around him, and he said, what we did was get this program back to where it wasn't in shambles.
Right.
We were the guys that pushed this program back. He didn't say it, but back to respectability.
Right.
And, his hope, he said, was that the next generation, the current sophomores and juniors, take that and then make that next step.
Right. And, I think right now I don't know if it's a cold reality, but it's certainly a pretty shocking one, I think, for Indiana fans who probably now, we're sort of reveling in this season and thinking, hey, the bowl game wasn't eliminated till a little bit later, and it was an interesting team to watch. And then obviously
3-1, they almost went to the Big House and beat Michigan. There's a lot of optimism.
Yeah, and even going to the bucket game, that's always a big game, and there's a lot to look at. Well, now it's you look at the roster, see who's coming back, and wow, that defense is really depleted.
They are.
Indiana is really losing a lot of guys on defense, both defensive ends, 2 starting linebackers, both safeties. Ray Fisher will
one corner.
And so,
and a left tackle and a right guard.
Yeah, the offense could be pretty good next year. Obviously,
I think that's two holes to fill. I think really in left tackle is the big hole to fill.
Right, absolutely.
That's a really key position. But defense. That's a lot of players to replace in 1 year.
Yeah, and so Indiana needs. That was the talk right after the game. It's time to get to work developing, and that's something we don't know about Bill Lynch. I don't think you can really look at any of the players and say, well, he had a fair chance to really develop them, and that's what they've talked about so much is we're going to redshirt everybody, and they've only played 4 players in the last 2 classes. And those guys have been starters since they started playing. So that's now the test. Can the Mark Damishes of the world step in? Do they have somebody ready to play safety? Chris Adkins, I guess. I don't know.
Our Damon Sims and Chowchir ready to step in outside linebacker. Our Fred Jones and Terrence Thomas. Deontay Mack was a guy that I thought was going to be a real impact player this year and just wasn't at all.
Yeah.
Are those guys ready to step in a defensive end?
Yep.
Or is it going to be a scramble?
Right. That's what we need to find out, I guess. Need to figure it out.
We'll see.
The year in general, Lynch, just the same refrain, which we all joke about it as we sit down there waiting for him to come out and give his talk. We basically recite it ahead of time. And he said, the thing I liked about this team and the legacy of this team is that it constantly battled.
Right.
I didn't see it as much today.
I didn't see it as much today. I
thought they came out flat.
They had a couple minutes in the second half where they made some really good plays and they got themselves back in a position to potentially make it a game.
Right.
Obviously, Ben Chappell's interception on that screen pass was just, it's a really bad pass. That's, and maybe not even a really strong play call at that point.
Yeah.
But that clearly ended it. But yeah, you're right. They came out really flat. most of the first half, that sideline was just completely deflated.
Right. Yeah, and then to allow a kickoff return to open the second half, that really killed him. Chappell, I think, was at times really good. I think he makes some throws that there's no other quarterback in the conference that can make them. I mean, he's that good at times, but he does make untimely mistakes. His interceptions tend to come in big moments, a lot of them, and really momentum killing. Which any interceptions, but he really seems to just make a bad decision.
Right. He doesn't make the interception where it's like, oh, I tried to throw the fade route on 3rd and 11, and they got the ball on their own 30, so that was really as good as a punt. He doesn't make that interception. It's the 15-yard slant in the red zone that gets picked off. Right. It's the screen pass. It come at key points, and you wonder if it's a guy who's really in his first year starter trying to make too big of a play and not letting the game come to him.
Which is one of his real strengths, is that he's a heady guy, understands the game well, usually manages the team well. Just this year, there were times when the timing of what he did kind of hurt. And I think that's the improvement he needs to make. And he could be we were talking this when we were on the field watching the final. Does Ed Wright Baker get a chance to unseat Ben Chappell?
I think he gets a chance at least to become the Wildcat.
He's absolutely. We talked about this before, but Mitch Evans may be bound for playing safety again.
Yeah, on paper it's a smart move. The only thing you worry about is when you move a kid that much, does it all become too much and just everything just becomes gobbledygook in his head?
Yeah.
I think it's probably the only hesitation to doing the move because of the depth at wide receiver.
He seemed to handle things so well already. He's been the Wildcat quarterback, been regular quarterback, been wide receiver, been safety. So, well, a lot of interesting things to talk about throughout the rest of the year as we kind of monitor IU football in the offseason. Lynch said the player, they have the banquet tomorrow, name MVPs and do all that. And then the coaches go recruiting right away. He'll take some time, he said, take a few days to kind of back off away from the season, sort of get the emotions out of it, is what he said, and really evaluate where they're at. And obviously that's a big question from the fans, from you guys. We hear it, we get it in emails and in chats. Will there be changes to the assistant coaching staff? Will they do anything on that front? I think it's probably too early to tell. And I'm sure Lynch, he was asked today whether or not he was thinking of any of that, and he said the program's moving in the right direction, but I don't think he was going to announce today.
It's not Bill Lynch's. No. It's not who he is as a football coach and as a person.
Right.
To say, this coach is gone.
Right.
That's just not who he is, and that's part of why he comes out every week and says we battled. It's his consistency. I think is probably what this program needs.
Right.
And if you look at the really successful programs in college football, they don't have these kind of wild, crazy coaches that come to the post-game press conference and spout off about their team and how terrible they played. And they are the guys that come out every week and say, we played really hard and we did this and we did this. It's just that a lot of times those guys are also winning, so you get away with it a lot more.
Right. And Lynch has a press conference Tuesday, and I don't know that much will come out of that other than.
I think if there's a coaching change. There's a coaching change. We will find out when a press release is sent out saying that so and so has left the program.
Right. Yeah.
Or so and so has been hired for this position, and so and so has been moved to this, or is going to leave the program.
Yeah. So we'll cover all that as we go. Obviously, we move on now to the next rebuilding project, the Tom Crean led basketball Hoosiers, who have run into some struggles in Puerto Rico.
Calm down, Indiana fans.
Yeah.
It's just year 2. 6 freshmen, 2 sophomores.
It's a process.
It's okay. It'll all be fine.
Unless they lose to Mason tomorrow. Then
George Mason won the Final Four.
Then I think he panicked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
NC Central's on the schedule coming up. That's a win.
True. Dustin Dopirak down there in Puerto Rico enjoying the tropical island. And by enjoying, I mean writing a lot. Because
he better be.
We've given him many assignments. But he's down there. Make sure you follow along with him on the blog. He'll be chatting tomorrow and having a wrap-up of all that the Hoosiers learned down there and all Tom Crean thought about the trip. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.